Welcome back, mi gente. This is Hecho at the Market. Today we have two very special guests with us that are going to be here for our podcast where we're going to be talking about different products they actually sell. This is Abigail and Nancy with Mother-Daughter Delights, right? So welcome to our podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Gracias por la invitación.
Actually, it's going to be a bilingual interview today, so this is going to be very interesting, different one than the ones we've done before. So before we get started into actually going through the products that we have here, what is it that inspired you to make these products?
Well, I actually started this on my senior year of high school. I was trying to save money for college, right? My parents were like, "Oh, well, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pay for everything. You just need to save up for your dorm." But they didn't want me working, somewhere like on a fast food place or anything like that. So I was like, okay, what's something that I like? So I was like, okay, baking. I told my mom that I was interested if she could help me with that. And yeah, we started working on that during the summertime.
Interesting. And then I guess from there it developed to different things, right? Because we started with cakes and then you added something else to the business. What is it that you added there?
Ok, pues entonces, cuando ella regresa de la universidad y dice, ok, me gustaría volver a hacerlo porque solamente lo hicimos por ese verano.
Mhm.
Y me dice, me gustaría volverlo a hacer y un poquito más profesional porque yo sinceramente no sabía absolutamente nada de los markets. Entonces ya ella empieza a hacer todo esto, entonces digo, no, pues yo también quiero ganar. ¿Ok? Entonces digo, ok, fuimos a un lugar donde vendían salsa y todo esto y dije yo creo que yo puedo hacer esto. Y fue que empecé a hacer las salsas. Empecé a hacer las salsas y ya ella decía, ok, yo soy el dulce y es lo picante. Digo, sí.
Then we have the mix of the two, right? When you go to the market, you go to your booth, you can find the cakes and the salsas at the same time, pretty much.
Sí.
So was this actually like your dream business, or it started more as a side hustle? Is it still a side hustle, or is now a dream business?
Well, it first started more like as a side hustle, like you said. I just did it to save up money for college. Um, I think we can now say that it's more like a dream, right? To kind of like maybe start our own business someday. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think now it's a dream, something that will hopefully happen in the future.
Awesome. And how do you come up with the name Mother Daughter Delights? Like, what's the meaning of that?
Actually, at vendor markets, I have a lot of the clients ask like, "Why mother-daughter delights?" And I tell them, and they laugh. They love it. It's like, well, mother, right? She does the salsas because she's a spicy mom, and obviously I'm the sweet daughter, so I do the cakes. So yeah, that's the meaning behind the name.
Awesome. That's very interesting because that's something you usually don't see, right? That like a lot of the businesses don't have literally depicting who is actually owning the business, but in your case it is. And then the delights kind of like goes both ways, right? With the spicy and with the sweets. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's a very clever name, and I'm pretty sure it's something that attracts people, right, to your booth when you're at the markets. Um, so when you're talking about the business itself, right? We mentioned that we have the different products here. So what is it that we have here at the table that we're seeing and smelling and I want to eat now?
Oh, you wanna go for it?
Ya, sí, yo puedo hacerlo. El amarillo que van a ver a su lado izquierdo sería derecho mío, que ese es el de piña colada. Ese, pues está muy de temporada, ¿verdad? Ahorita como que estamos con el frío, el calor y que vamos empezando más calor, pues ese es excelente. Enseguida tenemos el ferrero.
Mhm.
El ferrero lo tenemos dos versiones diferentes, 3 leches o sin 3 leches. Y es básicamente pan de chocolate con un toque de avellana y, y un ganache de chocolate. Obviamente enseguida tenemos el pastel de fresas con crema que fue un boom también. Fue un boom, o sea, no lo esperábamos, esta es la primera vez que lo hacemos
Mhm.
y la primera vez que lo llevamos a un market no vendimos. O sea, vendimos diferentes menos ese y de repente fue como que todos se vendieron y menos ese. Y a otro día todo se vendió de este pastel en específico. Y luego enseguida tenemos la versión del chocolate blanco, ¿verdad? Que es el primo del Ferrero, que viene siendo el Rafaelo.
Mhm.
Ese está con un poco de tres leches y es con pan de coco y almendra. So, para las personas que somos muy fan como yo del coco, de las almendras. Este, y un ganache con chocolate blanco que es el frosting. En la parte de abajo tenemos el pistacho. Digo, pistacho en Ferrero. Desde que empezamos a hacer los pastelitos, esos son siempre. Esos han sido siempre. Entonces, el pistacho también fue un gran boom para nosotras. Siempre se vende mucho y porque dice la gente no está tan dulce y sabe a pistacho. Y
Mhm.
lo que les hemos dicho nosotros en particular con este pastel es que es pistacho natural, es polvo de pistacho natural. Y enseguida tenemos el red velvet, que es más clásico. Es más clásico, ese es con butter cream cheese, pero también es algo que llegó para quedarse. Digo, y menciono los sabores de los pasteles porque nosotros cada mes cambiamos eh, dos o tres sabores de los pasteles, así es que si van a un market, no se encuentran, eh, pidan lo que quieran, pidan el sabor que les guste, que les interese, porque a lo mejor para la siguiente vez que vuelvan a ir al market, no van a ser los mismos sabores. Los que sí definitivamente se quedan sería Ferrero y pistacho. Luego, pero ahí ya no sabemos, porque cada mes lo cambiamos el sabor.
That's interesting because actually, I've tried most of these cakes to be honest with you. They've been to our PF Chang's market, and that's where I've actually tried a lot of them. We actually also had a meeting, and actually, you can see one on the Instagram on the posts. You can see one of the reels where we actually took a picture of the cupcakes that they actually graciously gave us for our meeting that we had. And actually, the strawberries and cream, I wasn't a really fan of it. Like just thinking of the name itself. But once I tried it, my wife, she's like, "You gotta try this." So I just grabbed a little piece, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is so good." So the next day, I was like, "They better be there, better bring it, because it's really good." My favorite one is, it's the Raffaello. That's my go-to. I will always get it. But recently, I've been loving the piña colada. It's one of the very fresh tastes. And actually, you know what's the best thing about that one? Is that it's not the taste that it's not the artificial taste that there's no artificial taste there. The taste you can actually chew on the pineapple itself. And that was a very big surprise when I tried it because I wasn't expecting to chew pineapple at the cake, eating the cake. I was just like thinking just the flavor itself, but it's pretty good. So, if you ever go to a market where they're gonna be at, I really, really encourage you to stop by their booth and really try. They actually offer a free sample, so you can try them before you buy them. But I guarantee you that if you try three, probably you're gonna buy three. That's all I'm saying.
That is so true.
So then from there, we also have here that we have the salsas, right? And those also are also available at the markets. And what can you tell us about those delicious salsas that I see there?
Ok. Digo, sí, tenemos también pues las salsas, ¿verdad? Que era lo que platicamos un principio, este, lo dulce y lo picante, ¿verdad? Específicamente esta salsa le llamamos la salsa borracha. Esta salsa ha estado, no es receta original mía, pero ha estado mucho tiempo en la familia y era muy clásico que hiciéramos una fiesta y luego dijeran, el pastel, no, ¿y la salsa? Todo el mundo quería la salsita con tostadas antes de que empezáramos la party y a comer y todo, no, era la salsa. Y un día simplemente alguien me dijo, oye, ¿y si me haces salsa para mi fiesta? Me digo, ok. Entonces ahí empiezo a hacer negocio con la salsa. Entonces, y luego ya decidió, ok, voy a llevar salsas y pues tengo la borracha, o que es a base de chile de árbol, perdón.
Mhm.
Está más chunky esta salsa porque tiene aguacate, cebollita de rabo, cilantro y un toque de limón. Decimos siempre en el market, también ofrecemos samples de la salsa y siempre decimos, ok, esta salsa es picosa, está picosa, pero adictiva, digo sobre todo. Y mucha gente dice, sí está picosa, pero me llevo dos, tres frascos. La salsa verde que es más creamy y esa es a base de chile jalapeño.
Mhm.
Digo, y esa es la que definitivamente me dice, ok, una que no esté tan picosa, la verde. Y tenemos esta que está aquí de este lado, que es la bomba. Esa, viene el nombre por esto mismo, ok, porque la tratas y está muy buena, pero el picor en sí, o sea, puedes probar el sabor,
Mhm.
pero el picor va a venir como que en 3, 2, 1, like, boom,
Boom.
boom.
La bomba.
Le digo, pero igual bueno, las tres salsas las vendo perfectamente bien. La cosa con esta salsa también que les agrada a la gente es que esta también está hecha con chile de árbol, pero esta es una salsa que está frita en aceite
Mm.
de aguacate. Lo hago yo específicamente en aceite de aguacate. Así es que esa salsa es picosa y a lo mejor no la usa uno tanto, pero la puedes refrigerar y te puede durar hasta 3 meses en
Wow.
refrigeración. Ujú. Y las otras 2, 3 semanas. Bueno, hay alguien que nos dijo que tenía específicamente con la borracha, como 2 meses.
Sí, 2, 3 meses y luego lo hicieron post en una Instagram story and I was like, you still have it? Like, is it still good? And they're like, oh yeah, it's perfect. And I was worried. I told my mom, I was like, I don't know, like if they want a refund or what. So like, but they say it's still good. So
That's what matters, right? And actually, when it comes to the salsas, actually, when you open them, you can literally smell them. Like it smells like that vinegary, weird, like smell that comes up to your nose, like as soon as you open it, right? And if you don't smell that, probably it's still good. So that's all made of fresh ingredients, right? And the salsas are one of your top sales products at the markets as well. One thing that I have never seen at a market, right? But cake, the custom made cakes that you also have, right?
yes, so actually a lot of people ask like, oh, okay, well you guys do the gourmet cakes. Can you guys do it like in a bigger size? We do, right? Just message us on Instagram or phone number. It's on our business card as well. We do cupcakes to like tiered cakes as well. My mom is the one who focuses more on the bigger cakes since she has more experience. I tend to do more like the cupcakes, the bentos, like the mini cakes that we have right here. That's mostly what I focus on.
And like this one right here, right? This is one sample, but this is like a custom made one, or like is there specifics that you cannot like do, or like things that you recommend to your clients based on what they want for their parties, or how does it go making a custom cake?
So it depends what they have in mind. I try to work with them more like one on one. I know there's like some other people that just want to do like, oh, fill out the form and we'll go ahead and make it for you. But with my customers, I try to do like
Custom made?
with my cakes. Yeah, I try to like message them, see what's going on, see if they have like a inspiration pick, and then from there we go. Like, oh, okay, do you want this? Do you want to take out that? How do you want to customize? And they're like, well, whatever it's easier for you. I'm like, well, no, you're the one paying for it, right? Like, you let me know how you want your cake. It's your celebration, and we're here to make it happen. So,
That's amazing. And then to surprise you, we actually not only have cakes, they don't not only make salsas, but they also make one delicious thing that happens once a year, and that is Rosca de Reyes. So, what can you tell us about Rosca de Reyes?
De rosca de reyes, pues bien tradicional. Nosotros tenemos un año y que sea unos 15 meses haciendo pastelitos y haciendo markets y todo esto. Entonces, este año dije, bueno, pues vamos a hacer rosca de reyes. Yo vengo de una familia de panadería,
Mm.
¿ok? Mi padre era panadero, mi hermano el mayor es panadero y es pastelero también. Él tiene su propio negocio en Juárez, se llama El Sabor de la Vida. Y con él fue con el que discutí acerca de esta receta, ¿verdad? Él es el que me enseña y yo tengo alguna duda y le digo específicamente, porque la verdad es que no estudié esto, nomás fue una niña muy metiche y siempre estaba con los panaderos, pesando harinas, masas, haciéndole los diseños a las conchas, cosas así, ¿verdad? Entonces siempre me ha gustado y igual empezaba yo a hacerle los pasteles a mis hijos. y fui con mi hermano en diciembre y le digo, ¿sabes qué? Quiero hacer roscas. De veras me dice, pues, mira, te doy esta receta. Empecé, la puse en práctica la receta, cambié algunas cosas. Entonces, pues, voilà, salió. A mi hija se le ocurrió, que es la que maneja más redes sociales. Yo estoy, más haciendo los custom cakes, todo esto. Y mi hija dijo, ¿y si lo pongo en Facebook? I'm like, ok. Le dije, bueno, le dije, está bien. La verdad no sabía lo que se me venía, sinceramente, porque soy solamente yo en mi casa, en mi cocina, con mi horno de la estufa, haciendo roscas de este tamaño y individuales, que fue como las ofrecimos también. Y le dije a mi hija, ¿sabes qué? Ya no hagas, o sea, ya no agarres más. Le dije, ya no puedo, nos fue muy bien. La gente nos correspondió excelentemente, pero sí tuvimos que limitarlo y hay mucha gente. De hecho, tenemos clientes nuevos a raíz de las roscas,
Mm.
¿verdad? Porque les gustaron y nos mandan mensaje y nos dicen, oiga, yo le compré rosca en enero, ahora quiero probar sus pasteles. Entonces, pues muy agradecidas, muy agradecidas con los clientes que tenemos, la gente que ya nos conoce, que nos ha dado preferencia y que saben la verdad la calidad de nuestro producto, ¿verdad? Tal vez algunas personas digan, ay, no se les hace un poquito alto, pero tenga por seguro que la calidad vale la pena,
Mhm.
sobre todo. Así como cuando empiezo a hacer los custom cakes y decía yo, ay, pero ¿cómo voy a hacer esto? Y decía, bueno, a lo mejor no va a estar perfecto el dullado, lo que sea, pero te aseguro que de sabor va a estar excelente y que te va a durar en el refrigerador bastante si te queda algo, le decía. Así es que pues de ahí nace toda la idea.
So that's an amazing story, actually. That you were able to start with a small thing for a small dream, and then it evolved from there to the point that now you actually have you can say like three businesses in one, right? So that's an amazing story. But now let's go into what actually Market CP 915 is all about, which is actually going to the market. So can you tell me more about what's been your experience going to markets?
The experience, it depends on the weather, especially because like it's we're here in El Paso. You never know. Like one day it's gonna be really sunny, the next day it can be really windy, and like it's really hot, right? So you don't really know what you're expecting at the vendors market. You just have to be ready no matter
Mm-hmm.
what. That's pretty much what our experience has been. But we really do like talking with the clients, talking with them, seeing their faces when they try the samples of the case. They're like, "Oh my god, this is like the best thing ever!" I'm like, it is, right? My mom has like sometimes tried like giving up, but then we go to a vendor market and then she sees like their faces and they're like, "Do you do custom cakes?" We do. She gets so happy about it. She's like, "Okay, let's keep it going," right? Um, like my mom said, she's more she works on the cakes hands on. I'm more behind the scenes. So it's me like giving my mom like, okay, we got this. We can still do this. Don't give up yet. Like we're barely starting, and we're doing great. Like,
That's a good story. So actually, talking about markets, how would you describe the market vibe to people that haven't been to markets?
I want to say interesting, right? There's some
Ujú.
markets where they have live bands, live music. They have folklorico. It just you never know. It depends. We actually first started with Bovista Lounge. That was our first market there,
Ujú.
and I want to say there they had more like little kids singing, right? So I was like, okay. I was like, little kids singing at a vendor's market. Let's try it out. I was like, why not? And actually, we did go back again and again and again, and until right now, we've been growing with them because of that one market. So like you just never really know what you're going to expect at that market. Every market is different.
And what do you mean by different? Like, what if I never been to a market and you tell me like every market's different? What is it that you're referring to?
Like night market, sometimes on their organization they have like movie nights, right? So they have a movie night and then they have a night market as well. If it's like during the day, it's like let's say like a coffee place, right? Like you get a coffee, and then you get to walk around the market, get to explore like what it is the small business open fast food. You get to support them.
And that's a very important key that I want to emphasize. And Market CP915, our mission. It's to ensure that we have the best environment, right? Not just only for the people that go there, but mainly our focus has been the vendors. And if you haven't been to one of our markets, that's always the vision that we have. And our slogan is for the vendors by the vendors, right? And not only that, but it's also like shop local. That's our hashtag where we put out most of our videos, because when you go by at a big retail store, people are not gonna like they're not gonna remember your purchase ever because there's not that connection. But when you go buy from somebody local, right, you're changing their life. You're feeding their dreams. You're feeding their enthusiasm to keep going, right? So that's extremely crucial, to be able to do that and ensure that we have that here in El Paso. It's amazing that it's growing a lot on the markets, right? And actually, before we move on with our podcast today, we want to give thanks to our sponsors for this podcast today. First of all, to Monstera Café Deliciosa for this delicious coffee and allowing us to record our podcast here at their cafe. They are located 2830 Yandel. You should see it down here. So make sure you take a screenshot so you can come visit and enjoy one of the coffees that they have here. We also have the mugs, right? They were engraved by Innovex. They're an engraving company that actually go to our markets, to many of our markets, and they do amazing jobs putting them there. Also to Never Satisfied 915, which they provided my shirt, uh, to make sure that we look all spooky here. But also, we want to make sure to thank, Mother Dar Delights for being here, bringing all these products to show you as we have that. If it wasn't for all these people, we wouldn't be able to have our podcast. So thank you for your support. Now, when it comes to selling at the markets, right? What's the experience like? What does it take to prep? What is a normal day to prep for a market? Like, give me a synopsis or a summary of I wake up and this is what I do to get ready.
Ok, creo que me toca contestar esto porque, bueno, las dos trabajamos en los mini cakes y esto tiene que estar un día antes. Nos gusta llevar todo bien fresco, tanto los pasteles como las salsas. Entonces empieza por decir un miércoles y yo voy y agarro todo lo que necesito, verduras, todo, que tengamos cremas y empezar a preparar desde ese día. Si tenemos que preparar algún tipo de ganache, lo que sea, prepararlo desde el miércoles, porque el viernes, el sábado vamos a estar en los markets vendiendo. Entonces, hacer esa preparación, ¿verdad? Antes de los pasteles. Los pasteles sí son todos y las salsas un día antes. Un día antes, una noche antes, los pasteles ya están listos. El jueves en la noche, el viernes nos vamos a vender.
And if you wake up in the morning, what's that day routine like to go to the market? How do you prep to go to the market?
I'll go ahead and answer that only because I like to do things last minute. Right? Oh, well, not only because of that, but I mean, I have school and work, so my mom is the one who bakes. I'm the one who decorates. We switch depending like how our schedule is throughout the week. I'm mostly the one who does it the day of. So I want to say if I have like a market, let's say like around 2 p.m., I have to wake up by 7, start baking, start decorating, and I also take really long to get ready, right? So I'm not really punctual. So, for me to like make it on time, I have to wake up really early, start baking right away, and then while the cakes are getting baking, I can go ahead and like get ready, shower, and change in like those 25 minutes that I have. Right after that, I have my mom like asking her if she could help me decorating the cake. Sometimes she says no, but she's like, "Oh no, that's your job, right? Like I've done the sometimes we do kind of a right flavor that seem recent, but at least like they're fresh. They're made the day
Yes.
of.
Yeah, and that's important, right? Because the freshness of your products is really what speaks about your product. So when every time somebody tastes one of these cakes or one of the salsas, they're tasting what you prepare for them, right? And the time that it takes to prepare it, I can see now like that it starts days before, not the day off. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, that a lot of our vendors that go to markets, they don't just prep for that one day. They spend hours on a daily basis
Oh, yeah.
getting ready for a market. So when you see the booth standing at a market, there's many hours of hard work that goes behind that. So that's why it's so crucial that we support our local vendors, go to local markets, go to support every local shop that you can, so that we can keep thriving in our community, which is all what we're trying to do with this, is building a community that we can support each other, support our vendors, and support our community as a whole, right? Because if our community is right, then we can all enjoy the benefits of that. So let's get into a little funny questions here. So if your business had a theme song, what would it be?
I think for me, it would be girls just want to have fun, right? Because every day, like I said, it's different, and I like having fun. My mom, she's more like serious. She's more like strict. No, this is how things should be done. I'm like, no, like we're baking, we're decorating, have fun. It shouldn't be like, oh, stressful. No, like have fun. I like to put music in the background, right? I like to dance, listen to my music, what my mom considers no, that's not her music, right? And whenever she plays her music, I'm like, all right, I'm out of the kitchen. It's my time to leave already, right?
Yeah,
But
that's the key.
for my mom, I don't know what's
Sí.
up with you.
No, definitivamente para mí, aparte de que estamos algunas décadas separados, ¿verdad? I will survive.
That's a good song.
Me encanta esa canción, me gusta mucho. Estaba pensando, ¿qué canción podría ser? ¿Qué canción podría ser? No recuerdo exactamente dónde la escuché y hace algún tiempito y me encantó y me encanta bailarla. Me encanta yo bailarla. Y si yo pongo esto a la hora de estar haciendo las salsas, los pasteles, yo creo que me voy más rapidín. Y me voy al ritmo de la música y estoy bien. Digo, y todo sale perfecto. Pero creo que definitivamente eso especialmente cuando decido hacer los pasteles personalizados, porque siempre hay alguien que diga, rapidito, mira uno chiquito para mañana y me está hablando a las 10 de la noche. Ok, y créanme que sí los hemos hecho y algunas veces es mi hija la que nos hace llegar tarde a los markets, pero en otras ocasiones también son mis clientes que confío y dicen a las 9 de la mañana ya estoy ahí y no, ¿verdad? Entonces, pero es emocionante, es excitante, es estar contra reloj, me encanta la adrenalina, creo. Yo creo que por eso es que ahorita mencionaba a mi hija eso, precisamente, ¿verdad? Que dice, ya vamos yo digo, ya, este es el último, me estreso porque yo quiero que todo salga muy bien y todo salga perfecto. Y me estreso y luego cuando estamos dando algún sample y la reacción de la persona es like, o sea, this is heaven, dicen. Y lo oigo así como que, ok, otro round,
Moment.
otro round,
Like,
sí.
let's try another one.
Sí, la satisfacción, en verdad es una satisfacción ver la gente que aprecia tu producto y tu trabajo, porque todo lo que va detrás es difícil, pero pues seguimos, seguimos.
That's amazing. Actually, I have um, a very I say unique gift that was given, that actually I can taste a lot of the things that are in products. And some people like tell me like, no, you can't. And I've tried things and they tell me this has this, and this, and they're like, look amazed. Like, how do you know? I said, I can taste it. My taste buds are so unique that I really enjoy food, right? And not just to eat it, but I'm a foodie because I can really appreciate the flavors, the quality of the products. Um, on our podcast before, we had out of holistic here, and actually their juices are amazing because you can taste the quality of the products they use. Well, same with these cakes. Actually, I've tried cakes that they look delicious, and you want to try them. The moment you put it in your mouth, it just feels like a burst of fat in your mouth, and it's all over your tongue. You're like, like that's something I can't have. With this cakes, actually, they really hook you into the taste, and you can really taste the quality of the products, and that's something that I really appreciate of your products, and that's why I guess I'm hooked into them. Because every time I go to the market, I don't get one or two. We usually buy like four, five, six cakes of different flavors, and that's because we can taste the flavors and we know the quality of the products. Sometimes we're drinking our coffee in the morning, eating one of the cakes as our breakfast, and my wife she's telling me I can really taste the quality of the products in this cake, and that's something not very usual that you do with a lot of the cakes or even pan dulce here at in El Paso in the bakeries. Like that you cannot really. I mean, it tastes like sugar, but not really the quality there, and we can see it here. So in the mornings, before you go to market, would you have coffee, agua frescas, or energy drink?
I think for me it depends how much energy I have in the morning, right? Like if it's market at night in the morning, I'm getting coffee, right? But if it's like a market that starts like until 12, okay, then I'll probably get just like an agua fresca or a lemonade. That's what I would go for.
No, para mí, café. Café. Si es en la mañana, café. Y si es en la tarde, café, por favor. Sí.
And we can see, right, that we have the coffee here.
Sí, sí,
So
definitivamente.
that's pretty amazing. And actually, right, I'm the same way. Like we usually drink coffee every morning, and by the time we're at the market, we look for the coffee shop at the market, and then we get another coffee to survive there. And not only that, but we look for something sweet to kind of keep us, going. So that's amazing that you're able to do um, there. Now, if you had, if your brand was a person, how would you describe
Oh, Dios.
I would say like someone that has a free spirit, right? They just do it. They don't think about it. They just have fun. um, I think my mom would say something like someone who's serious, right? But likes to go out. Um,
Creo que yo sería más, me inclinaría más como por un ave, ¿sí? En este caso sí sería un ave fénix, ¿sí? Porque
interesante?
de absolutamente nada nació esto que tenemos ahora, ¿ok? Porque ya, pues obviamente, ya éramos familia, pero tener un negocio, porque eso es lo que es, ¿verdad? Es un negocio, nació de la nada. Eh, Especialmente por parte de mi familia, ¿verdad? Como comentaba que vengo de familia de panadería, nunca se me había ocurrido realmente hacerlo. De niña, mis papás pues tuvieron panaderías y todo, pero nunca se me ocurrió, ay, yo voy a poner un negocio, yo voy a hacer algo para vender. Y exactamente, o sea, nació de absolutamente nada. Lo que sí lamento mucho es que fue hasta que fallece mi papá, ¿verdad? Entonces no vio esto, y yo sé que a él le hubiera gustado mucho. Digo,
Wow,
sí. Ujú.
that's an amazing, inspirational story, and thank you for sharing that with us. I know
Yes.
that's very emotional when we talk about our family that has passed, and
Yes.
even though they're not here with us, I'm pretty sure that he's very proud of what you've accomplished with the business, and that you're carrying his legacy, right, of working within the cakes and the pan and everything that you're doing. So
Sí.
keep it up. Now, when it comes to one thing that you just mentioned, I believe it's critical that we emphasize that. And she mentioned, I started this business or this business started. And if you notice, she called it the business, right? And that's a key word. A lot of people, I've heard it through many talks, through many markets, they don't consider vendors small businesses. They consider them, I don't know what, but they're at the markets. and they just maybe just vendors, right? But every vendor has a story. Every vendor had a beginning, and it's going through different phases of their business, right? So I want to make clear to all of our listeners that are not part of the vendor community. Each vendor that you see at a market, it doesn't matter how their setup is, right? If it's professional or not, if it's big or small, if it's one table, if it's 10 tables, it doesn't matter. They still a small business, and supporting them, it's what's gonna get our community thriving, and that's what we're looking for, right? So thank you for sharing that story. I really, really appreciate you sharing that you see this as a business, because that's how we all see our businesses, and that's something we want to thrive and keep growing. Now, let's move on to our next topic, which is actually, what's one thing you wish you knew that you know now when you were starting this business?
Creo yo que precisamente eso, el saber que esto era un negocio, ¿verdad? No un hobby, no es, no era haciendo un pastel para alguien de la familia o para la casa o, o una salsa para la familia, ¿verdad? Es eso precisamente, desde un principio haberlo visto yo como tal. A un principio fue con un objetivo, ¿verdad? Que la hija aprendiera que aparte de necesitar dinero para la universidad, que necesitaba aprender a ganarlo también. Entonces, como que, sinceramente, yo lo tomé más como que más relajada, ¿verdad? Creo que vamos bien igual, pero me hubiera gustado tener más esa noción de que iba a ser un negocio. Que no era tanto como para que enseñara a la hija a ganarse un dinero, ¿verdad? Sino verlo más como un negocio.
That's a really good point. And what is it that the markets, the going at pop-up markets or farmer markets, however you want to call them, what is it that it has showed you that you can share with others about your experience being at the market? It's not necessarily how do you set up and the hard work that we all know it goes into going to a market, but how do you feel, or what is it one thing you can share with them about being at the markets, meaning the feeling of being there?
I feel like it makes me feel closer being with the community, right? I get to talk and meet other vendors. I mean, that's how I met you, especially
Yeah.
like, at the fountains. Like I said, it was really a really hot day.
It was.
He was about to die.
I was melting.
Right? But like I got to meet you. I got to meet your business and the story behind it. After that, I mean, I was like, we got really close. I was like, okay, let's go ahead and participate on more markets. I remember sharing your Instagram. Like, okay, if there's another market coming up, I'll go ahead and let you know. You let me know. So it's like meeting other vendors and just, that community. I guess you won't really know about it unless you're like a vendor and who's there participating. Like, I feel like the community that just goes like, oh, why are they closed, or what? People think that it's like a vendor or a business fighting with another business, but no, it just means like we're supporting each other.
What's one thing that you would advise, or one advice that you can give? And I want each of you to give one. What will be one advice you can give to one of our listeners that are they're thinking about opening their own small business and starting to attend to markets? What's one advice you will give them?
No sé, tal vez prepararse física y mentalmente, ¿verdad? Es importante, creo yo, como lo mencioné hace rato, ¿verdad? No sabía lo que era realmente, pero es prepararse, sentirte cómodo con lo que estás haciendo, con lo que vas a ofrecer y tener ese conocimiento de qué es lo que estás ofreciendo. Entonces, yo creo que básicamente sería eso, creo yo. No sé, ¿tú qué piensas?
For me, I would just say like, just go for it. I mean, you're not losing anything, right? Just put yourself out there, try it out. You get to meet other people, you get to hear their stories, and you get like the feedback, right? like I said, I like watching them telling me like they're really good. Like they look, the cakes are a good presentation, but also it's not too sweet. Like they like it, right? And we don't really. I mean, I feel like with other bakeries, you don't really hear that a lot. Like yes, it looks good, but taste wise, it might be a little too sweet. For us, we try to focus more on that, so it's not too sweet, but it's like the perfect amount of sweetness.
So that's very important, right? The two advices I heard was go for it, and the other is just prepare yourself mentally and physically. And that's very crucial. And Market-EP.2-Mother is here to help you with that. So you can always send us a message through Instagram, or you can email us at marketep915@gmail.com. And we can always help you start your vendor career. And what is it needed, going from permits to how to prep for the first market, what tools do you need to be there, how to make it successful for you. And that's part of the community engagement that we're offering, right? A lot of our viewers don't have that clue. I've been at markets that we are organizing, and people approach me and say, hey, I want to be a vendor, but I don't know how to start. So we always offer the help to make sure that we are really embracing our community, and that's the whole purpose of what we do. So today we went through a process of how this business started. It was started as a side hustle and it became a dream. And that's the beauty of the stories of all the vendors, right? Each vendor has a story. Each vendor has a dream. Please go support local and ensure that when you go to a market, have a different perspective. Get in their shoes to understand where they're coming from and the products that you're seeing there. Why is that you're seeing? Bother to ask. Do you make them? And if you do, does it take you a long time? Like just start that conversation with a vendor. You never know that it could change their life. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate you joining us. It was an amazing experience and a journey of emotions going through this with you, of learning from small cakes to salsas to big cakes to rosca de reyes, and seeing the process that it took. It started just as a side hustle just to get her through college and the dorm part of it, and now being a family business. And those are the stories that we love to have in our podcast. So thank you again very much for joining us. We really appreciate you and for bringing all this delicious stuff that I'm gonna eat by myself. Um, but just joking. But thank you so much again for being here. I appreciate it.
No, yeah, thank you so much for having us, and of course you can go ahead and try some. I know you're definitely gonna go for the Rafaelo, so
Yes,
yeah, you
that's
can go
that
ahead and
that,
keep
that already
having
has
them.
my name on it.
Oh, it does. I told my mom specifically, I was like, we're giving that one to him.
Yes, thank you, thank
No,
you.
yeah, so thank you for having us once again.
Sí,
Appreciate
muchas
it.
gracias por la invitación, y a Monstera, obviamente, delicioso.
Yes.
Gracias y nos vemos pronto.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you until next time. We'll see you. We'll see you in the next podcast next week, and we'll see you real soon. Have a good one.